Hi friends, today I'm going to make a video about how to get the H1B visa as a postdoc or as a person who has obtained his PhD. So essentially let's look at what is the H1B visa. So this is a visa which lets you come to the US to do a job, and essentially it is a temporary worker visa. So what happens is that you can take this visa for 3 years and then renew it for another period of 3 years. Now generally what happens is that 65,000 H1B visas are given out each year, and there is an extra 20,000 visas which are given out to people who have masters or PhD degrees from US universities. So essentially that's 65,000 plus 20,000 H1B visas given out each year. And as you can understand, because there are a plethora of people who apply from the software side of the world, you can find the situation that H1B is closed very quickly. So this is the H1B cap. So I will tell you some things about my personal experience, and this is also from some of my friends, and this is not based on the software route but the PhD route to essentially get the H1B visa and how it can help. Now in general, whenever you apply for a postdoc positions, the universities prefer to give J1 visa. They love J1 visas, and essentially J1 visas have lower fee. There is no need to match prevailing wage in the US, so J1 visas are very flexible in terms of the salary they can pay you and so on. And also J1 is not a visa which has dual intent. So essentially it presumes that you come to the USA as a exchange visitor, you do your work, and at the end of your stay you go back to your home country, and then you are also supposed to stay in your home country for 2 years before you try again to come to the US on any such visa such as H1B and so on. Now remember, I am making these statements from my own personal experiences and knowledge, and I am not an immigration lawyer. If you want professional advice, you can get it from an immigration lawyer, though I will leave you some links to USCIS in the comment section below in this video. So now let us look at some of the reasons why you would be better off on the H1B visa if you are a postdoc. Now one of the things is that the H1B visa typically has a higher pay. So essentially what the employer has to do is that they have to do some work to show that they really need this person and there is no US person out there who can do this job. And essentially they have to match the amount of salary which needs to be paid to a person with the same level of skills. Remember, the H1B can only be issued to people with a bachelor's degree or more, and it has to be somebody who is a specialized knowledge expert. So again, having a master's degree does help in H1B, and having a PhD degree will certainly help in the H1B visa. So in case you are a postdoc, you have an edge as far as the H1B visa is concerned. Now H1B visa also takes more money in terms of applying. Sometime, I would say more frequently, it may need you to get hold of an immigration lawyer to do the paperwork, or sometimes the university may actually do it out for you. So now if you are a person who is already in the US and you are doing a PhD degree, then one of the possibilities is that if you get a postdoc position in the US, you can ask the universities to sponsor you for the H1B visa. Now initially they will probably tell you that you can take help of the F1 practical training, and so you can do that. You can take help of the F1 practical training, you can exhaust the F1 practical training which is there for you, and once you have exhausted the F1 practical training, you can go for the H1B visa. Now one of the biggest advantages as far as universities have, and this is in general true for non-profits, is that there is no cap on the number of H1s which can be given to people who are essentially applying for these visas from universities. So this helps your case because you can apply for the H1B at any time if you are working in the university. And if you are a postdoctoral scholar, if you are an assistant professor, associate professor, full professor who is going to work at the university, then you can ask the university to apply for the H1B visa for you. And the H1B visa, because it is essentially a dual intent visa, it allows you at the end of the period, which is typically 3 years and then renewable by 3 more years, to either stay in the US in some other categories, such as try to apply for a green card, or you can go back to your home country at that point. And one of the best parts about the H1B is that you get a wage which is essentially the prevailing wage in that occupation. So if you are in most of the technology domains and the advanced scholarship domains where PhD is required to do research, you are likely to get a much better pay in terms of the H1B visa than you can get on the J1. So essentially this is something, maybe it can help you if you know it. If you get a postdoc offer, you can try to ask your prospective host that you would like to get an H1B visa. Now that's a negotiating point. If he or she really wants you to work, they may be willing to sponsor you for the H1B visa, or you can come on the J1B visa. You can work for 5 years, and then at the point when your J1B is coming to an end, you may get a waiver of that 2-year requirement and then try for the H1B visa. So remember, though there is a 2-year home country requirement, it is mostly based on skills which you have, which your home country desires, but there is a procedure to get a waiver from your home country, typically the home ministry, for this 2-year residency requirement. And nowadays it is not very difficult to get this waiver, so that may also be possible for you. So to close this topic, the biggest advantage of the H1B is that you can essentially get the H1B visa at the university without this cap. And so while software people and all are limited by the cap, if you are a postdoc, you are not limited by the cap. As soon as you get a job, you can think about getting the H1B visa without any cap. And this is one of the major fringe benefits you get for having a PhD and having some publications under your belt, because that's going to certainly help you in the process of getting H1B visa. So do remember, during your PhD, write a few journal papers in good journals. Make sure you have a few referees lined up who can write nice letters for you, and also try to go for any of the best paper awards and thesis awards and named postdocs if they are possible. So that was my take on how to get the H1B visa as a postdoc. I hope this video is useful for you. Stay tuned to my channel, and I will see you in a video sometime soon.